Welcome to the demonstration video of a simple, full-fledged and cheap uninterruptible power supply for the Raspberry Pi. The hardware setup is as follows. Here we have a customary Raspberry Pi, which is powered via the micro USB connector by this USB battery. We further have a common network switch here, which is connected with a network cable to the LAN port of the Raspberry Pi. We also have an HDMI cable connected here so that we can see the output on the screen. Both the network switch as well as the USB battery are powered by those power supply units here. Since the Raspberry Pi itself is however powered by the USB battery, it's possible to continue its operation for many hours even if there's a power outage. The crucial question is, how can the Raspberry Pi determine that there's a power outage? Here comes the power supply for the network switch into play. The simple trick is that the Raspberry Pi can recognize a power outage by a loss of the wired network connection. There will run a small program on the Raspberry Pi in the background for this reason, which will take care of all relevant tasks. I will now quickly demonstrate that. Note that you can see the green status lights here, which indicate that the Raspberry Pi is connected to the network. I will now simulate a power outage by simply pressing the power button here. You can see that the green status lights have instantly gone out and that the network connection is thus no longer available. The red status light, however, is still up, so the Raspberry Pi is clearly still running. Let's quickly check the output on the screen. The already mentioned program is running in the foreground here for demonstration purposes. As soon as there is a loss of power, this is instantly reported here. The program can further even compute the current battery charge level and thus estimate the remaining runtime of the Raspberry Pi quite accurately. All that needs to be done is an initial and very simple configuration of the program. It's of course also possible to immediately shut down the Raspberry Pi or to run any other self-written scripts in the event of a power outage. I will now switch the power on again. It just takes a few seconds until the network is up again, which tells the Raspberry Pi that the external power is available again. The USB battery will recharge automatically. We can also see the corresponding output on the screen, telling us that the power is available again and that the operation of the Raspberry Pi can thus be continued as usual. The system runtime on power loss obviously depends on the capacity of the used battery, so you can decide on your own for how long your Raspberry Pi should be able to run by using a corresponding battery. However, please note that not all USB batteries are suitable to set up an uninterruptible power supply. In order to get suitable hardware components easily and cheaply, I highly recommend to use the very comfortable online configurator on my homepage, which will directly provide you with Amazon links to all hardware components you'll need. The website link is displayed here. Take a look right now. There's much more interesting stuff, and you can of course also download the required program there for free. Thanks for watching, and have fun with your new Raspberry Pi uninterruptible power supply.